Let's remove. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Shannon with Hero Hearts. Welcome to our second Stampin' Craft. Today, we are going to create 2 cards featuring products from the March Hero Studio release. One of them being this card with the card kit, which there was a ton of products in the card kit. This one just features the transfers and one of the stamp sets from that kit. And then we'll also be creating this card here with the Clear Set Plus dies of the month. This is a fun Copic colored project. Both of them have some Copic coloring, some alcohol coloring. If you don't have alcohol markers, you can definitely just color these with whatever coloring medium is your favorite. Hello, hello. I see we've got friends here. Hello, Beverly. Hello, hello. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. This is not my typical time for doing a live. Usually I do these on Sunday, but we couldn't make this Sunday work, so we squeezed this one in just before the next release is coming. Our next Hero Studio will be releasing April 1st. And I laugh because that's obviously April Fool's, but we will actually be having a release. And like I do in all of our Stampin' Crafts and our previously make-alongs, I share at the end of this live a sneak peek of the next card kit of the month. So I'm very excited to share that. Oh, Mindy, you're here. Hello, friend. Welcome, welcome. But I can't wait to show you that, but we'll do that at the very end. So let's dive in and get started with today's card. We're going to start with the card kit card. I'm going to switch to my different view here. There we go. So this is the one we're going to start with. And I love this one because of the transfers. They're so fun. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed the class. Oh, that's wonderful. Yep, that's why I couldn't do Sunday, because we had Crop and Create. And if you've never done Crop and Create, I really encourage you to go check it out. It's an amazing, amazing, epic virtual teaching event. I was very, very fortunate to teach for Hero Arts this weekend for that event. And it was so fun. Great community of people. I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's Scrapbook Cards in Today organized that event. Catherine from Scrapbook Cards in Days, and it's just really amazing. All right, so let's move on. So here's everything in the March card kit of the month. Clearly a bow theme. We have this beautiful transfer sheet. Actually, you get 2 sheets, but I used one of them already for this card. We're going to use a second one today. And I'm not taking advantage of this today, but I do want to point it out because I think a lot of people struggle with what to do with transfers. And one thing you can do is you can put them on acetate. It's difficult to stamp on acetate, and you definitely can't do anything with lots of colors. But that's, I think, knowing that you can take your transfers and put them on acetate just opens up a world of possibilities. We, again, aren't taking advantage of that fact today, but I always try to point that out because it's just such a cool thing. This is the set we'll be focusing on today. This is the little 4x6 stamp set that we had in that kit. Yeah, it's so handy to know that. You could create shaker cards by putting the acetate, the bows on the acetate, and then have your beautiful glittery sequins or whatever you have in your shaker card behind. So you can still see sparkle, but you won't obstruct your view of the bows. So I think that's something really cool. Great for sentiments, obviously, because sometimes incorporating your sentiment can be tricky on a shaker card sometimes where you can still see it. They are so wonderful. Oh, I'm glad you like them, Beverly. And then the coordinating die. So this is basically all we'll be using today for the card, but there's so much more included in the kit. You have this large 6x8 clear plus coordinating dies for that set. And we have videos on our YouTube channel that go over everything that's included in the card kit. So I'm just showing these really briefly because I've shared this before. There's also a stencil with a great stripy pattern. And then if that wasn't enough, there's also a cover plate die. So this is an A2 panel size, creates a beautiful window with a bow. Very, very cute. Oh, and there was one last thing. You get these little like gems, have an iridescent shine to them. I may incorporate some of these on today's card. I didn't have them when I made the card, but I have them now. So maybe I'll put some in. Yeah, they're very versatile. But I don't know. Maybe you guys, I struggled when I first had the transfers. I was like, I love them, but how do I use them in card making? How do I use them? I'm a stamper. I'm not used to having images all ready for me to use. And for me that acetate was like, oh my gosh, that's cool. Okay. But we're going to use them kind of like a resist a little bit for today. So that's another great way to use them. The first thing I had to do is just kind of trim down. I'm going to feature about like cut here. I want to use mostly an A2 panel here. So I'm going to trim that down with my paper trimmer. I think that's just the easiest way to do it. And this is the first, oh, I don't think I added it to the live. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. I have instructions for these two cards over on the Hero Arts blog. So if you are still waiting for your kit, but hopefully you're not. Hopefully you guys have your kits. Most people have their kits by now. But if you are still waiting for the kits, or if it's just easier to follow along with written instructions, those are all available on our Hero Arts blog. You can find the post of this card. You'll see this card and the other card I'm creating today. And that's where the instructions are. So that's a great resource. Definitely if you want to actually craft along with me in the live, check that out so you can gather before the class or before the live so you can gather your supplies before it. This is like kind of a free little class, and I feel like it's so awesome, and I want just more people to take advantage of it. That's my dream. All right, I just trimmed off a little bit of the excess. Probably didn't need to do that, but I did. I did anyways. Hello, Mary. Welcome. And I'm still kind of recovering from my cold, so you might hear me cough a little bit. Hopefully we're on the mend. That's all I can say. Hopefully we're almost over it. I'm gonna leave that edge. So I'm gonna cut this a little bit bigger than an A2, just a bit. And I'm guessing I should go like this. That's what I should do. I should measure it. So 5.5 would be where we need to go for A2. That would be smarter of me. And then we will go to about 4.25, go a little bit bigger. Just so I have a little extra. Try not to cut too much of the bows. And if you wanted to, you could hand cut this. I just felt like this was easier for me, and I knew exactly how I was using it. Normally I would hand cut around these so I wouldn't waste any of my precious stencils, especially if I wasn't sure what I was doing with them. But since I know exactly how I'm going to use them, I just went ahead and cut them. Ooh, and so it's a whole transfer sheet, all those bows. And I'll actually cut some of these that way so you can see what I mean. I'll line this up. Perfect. Pop that down. It comes with a popsicle stick to transfer them. You can also use, oh, you know what? This is a perfect time to try what everybody's told me to try. I know people use their die cutting machine to do a lot of transfers at once. Let's give it a try. Let's see how it goes. I'm feeling adventurous. Let's give it a go. Just because I feel like I need a little bit more pressure. I've never done it before, but just because I feel like I need a little more pressure, I'm going to put a shim down, which is just a paper. This is just my gut telling me I think I might need to do that. All right. And I'm going to put it inside there like that. Let's see. Fingers crossed. So I'm running it through my die cutting machine. And I'll try to bring it over here so you guys can actually see me do it. Oof. Definitely plenty of pressure. Because that was hard for me to roll it through. Okay, get that back out of the way. How'd we do? Wouldn't that be cool if they all transfer? That'd be so nice. Oh my gosh, you guys. Are you seeing this? Ah. It like perfectly transfers, only like teeny tiny, maybe little teeniest spots. that did it. Holy cow. That is a major hack. Okay, now I'm obsessed. That is amazing. Oops, I did miss a little part of my bow. I'll just do my best to get them re-lined up. I'm so impressed with that. That worked so good. I'm glad I tried that. There we go. Look at that. Can you believe it? What? It's so cool. Now I just want to kind of balance some of these. I have a couple little spots that I want to balance out with some more bows. So now I'm going to cut mine out and do it like the old-fashioned way. So I've got some bows here. I like you. This is going to be a little different than my original, but that is okay. So I'm just cutting around them. They don't have to be really close. I really like this blue. I feel like we need a little bit more blue over here. So he's going to go up there. Trim it down. I need my tweezers. I know, Beverly, that was really cool. Someone shared with, I didn't come up with it. Someone shared it with me a while ago and I just like forgot about it until right now. And it worked so good. I was very impressed. So this is how I typically do it, is I just rub it after you place the transfer sheet down with the image. You just rub the image all over and then you slowly peel back to kind of make sure it transferred. You can see it transferred beautifully. And like I did in the beginning, the first one where I had my bow a little bit not completely transferred, you can put it back on. Rosie, you're here? I didn't think you'd be able to make it this different time. I'm so glad you're here, friend. Rosie on the creative team. You're on that lunch. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, I really am glad you were able to pop in. That's awesome. I just did something so cool with the transfer sheets, and I'm really excited about it. I was able to transfer a whole sheet at once by running it through my die cutting machine. I'm gonna be obsessed with that for a little while. Okay, what other bows? I like this one. Maybe we'll get, and I like the purple too. So cut around that. Let's get this purple down somewhere. He can go right here. So cute. Such a pretty sheet. Awesome. We won't try that. That's taking it one too far. And I think we're almost there. That's kind of balanced, maybe just a little bit down here, and then we'll be done. I love these green bows. They're my favorite. Yes, Rosie, love it. And the more white transfers I think we could get, the better, because those are so cool. Because like we're going to take advantage of that today, so you'll maybe better understand what I'm talking about. But the transfers are basically like a resist. So right now this background is white, but we're actually going to ink blend over it, and they're going to resist that ink. But the paper will be colored that way. So that's it, because the transfers are a little bit opaque. So it's usually better to transfer them onto like white cardstock, because that way you'll get more of a vibrant, truer, I'm sorry, they're not completely opaque. Sorry, I said it wrong. They're not completely opaque. So that's why it's nicer to transfer them onto white cardstock, because that's going to increase the color and make it more vibrant. If you try to transfer onto darker cardstock, they're going to be very dulled, because you're going to see some of that darker cardstock through the transfer, even with color. So that's why I put it onto this white first, but I was just kind of like, the white contrast is too much. So that's why I wanted to ink blend. This looks so weird. Let's move that up. And the ink blending worked perfectly to kind of tone it down. I'm going to cut this bow, which I like really hesitant to do, but I think I need to do it. Do I want that bow or I need to just make a decision? I'm sorry. Let's do this one. He's already cut anyways, is what I'm thinking. That's the logic behind that. All right. Oops. Oh no. I need to. Everybody's so kind at Crop and Create and complimenting my nails, but they are very overgrown. They're pretty, but they're overgrown, and I really need to get them done again. So they're just making me a little bit more clumsy than I normally would be. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself and tell you guys. All right. Peel that back. How do we do? Perfect. I think we're almost done here. Transferring onto my paper, my panel or my work surface a little bit here, but that can be cleaned up later. You can kind of just scrub it off a little bit. I think we need one more and then we'll be done. What to do? We need more pink. Okay, it's come to it. It's come to it. We're gonna do you. I don't know about the weather for you guys, but it's been very nice here in Arizona, but admittedly starting to get a little hot. I think we've been getting into the 80s, high 80s this week, and I'm not ready for it yet. I'm not ready for it to be Arizona summer yet. I think we're going to have a little bit more cool down later this week, so I'm really, really looking forward to that. But right now, it's not bad. All right, we're done. Done with the transfers. I save like every little piece. I don't know what, pretty much. I probably won't save that, but I will save these cut pieces because you know what? I might use those. If I do want like a partial, it might make sense to have, you know, just a bit of something. So I'll save those. And let's move on to stamping. I don't want to ink blend this yet because I want a little, I want to give myself a little bit of time for my ink to dry before I start right into Copic coloring. So we'll ink blend while our stamped images dry a little. So I'm gonna grab my Misty. Let's open this up. And I'm gonna just grab some white cardstock and pop it in. 82, today's 64. Whoa, that's a big switch. I bet 82, you were dying, Rosie. It's probably hot. It's so hard when it jumps to that temperature. Like, but when it comes summer, we'll be like praying for 82. But when it jumps from 60 to 82, it's like crazy. It was 60 in Maine. Oh my gosh. I have family in Maine. And then 5 inches of snow. That's crazy. Wow. I think this is the time of the year where weather's just really super fluctuates. So I'm doing the large bow image, the little detail bow, and the brooch, which I think is the cutest thing in the whole world. 20-degree difference in one is nuts. It is super nuts. Agreed. I felt like for a long time, Arizona was like one of, and maybe, you know, just because that's all I know, was one of the few places that really experienced those big dramatic shifts in temperature. I'm realizing now that a lot of people are experiencing that too. So it's like not just an Arizona thing having big, because we would have it would cool down. It'd be hot during the day and cool down dramatically at night because the sun goes down. That's just kind of how desert is. Oh, they are in Portland. They're in Portland, Maine. My husband's family is from Maine. That's Pelletier. That's where that last name comes from. It's from him, and we have some wonderful family in Portland, Maine. And I've been lucky enough, very fortunate enough to visit a couple of, many times actually, but we haven't been able to visit in a while. We really need to get back there. It's so beautiful in Maine. I would miss the ocean. I get that. I never lived by an ocean, but I would love to. Virginia has all 4 seasons in a week. I believe it. I think I just wasn't very aware that was how it was. You're about an hour from Portland. Oh, perfect. Worked there for a few years. Yeah. My father-in-law lived in Yarmouth, which isn't very far from Portland. And he would drive to Boston and work in Boston. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Maine is like that too. I mean, I'm gathering. When we went to Maine, the only time I went to Maine was in the summer, and it was just warm, just hot. Humid is all really beautiful and humid. All right, we're almost done here. I'm inking it up, by the way, with a Hero Arts Intensified black ink. This is a wonderful, wonderful black ink. It is super dark in black, but not only that, it is a alcohol marker friendly ink. So that's very important since I'm doing Copic coloring. Also, it is waterproof. So if you wanted to do watercoloring, you could do this ink as well. So it's a really versatile one. Yes, the Clam Festival. That is one of my favorite events. Every time we go there, it's so amazing. I was blown away the first time I went because that is just not like what Arizona festivals are like at all. So like hometown Americana. It was beautiful. You would get, you could get a lobster and a steamer. It was awesome. I love it. I would love to go. I want to go back this summer, maybe even. It's been a while. Too long. Great event. All right. I think I stamped that enough. Like I stamped it probably like 16,000 times. So definitely a good reason to let it dry. Oh, and it's because my Intensified Black needs to be re-inked. I have not visited Fort Williams. I need to go. No, I have not visited that. We did finally get to Arcadia. And that was stunning. And we found blueberries. That was so cool. For a desert girl like me, that was just amazing to see. I've lost my ink pad. Here we go. No worries, Rosie. Thanks for popping in, friend. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Rosie, if you don't know, Rosie's on our creative team, our Hero Arts creative team. Our creative team is an amazing, amazing group of card makers that are so talented and so kind. And I can't give them enough praise. And they're always sharing their wonderful creations with us, and I get to share them during our our spotlight, where I go over our release spotlights, where I go over the entire release, which I'll be doing actually next the 2nd, which I think is Wednesday. I'm pulling up my calendar real quick. I'm so lost. Yeah, a week from now, I'll be doing our spotlight on the April release, where I'll go over everything that's included in part of the April Hero Studio. All right, so it needs to dry a little bit. I might even heat set it. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can see. Do you know when they ship subscriptions? I joined March 3rd, all 5 monthly items, and haven't gotten an email. They were sent. Joined March 3rd. Let me keep reading. The only confirmed order email. They should have shipped that by now. So what I recommend is you email info. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Cancel. I don't absolutely know when they ship things. Sometimes things get kind of pulled back because if you happen to have ordered something else in your order that we may have been out of stock on, or needed to be, we had enough of, but wasn't, the shelf in the warehouse wasn't full of it. Sometimes that kind of causes things to go awry. And I know they've been working really hard to fix it, but this still sounds too long to me. So I think you need just subscriptions. Okay, so I would eat, that definitely sounds like you should have got it before. Email, I'm sending you the email right now. Email info@heroarts.com, and just ask them nicely if they can check into it for you and say what the deal is, because yeah, that seems long. That seems long. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why. I was hoping we had got most of that fixed. Have you emailed them yet? And here's another thing. Great. I'm so glad that's here. Here's another thing. Let me give you my email. And if you're comfortable telling me your name, I'll try to look into it. This is Channin@heroarts.com. If you're comfortable giving your name and your order number, I'll see what I can do. We'll look into it, because that does seem like what's going on. That seems long to me, longer than it should be. All right, so now we're going to ink blend this while this is drying. Give me a little bit of time, and I might end up heat setting it after all. This is Cotton Hero Arts Core ink. Our core inks, they're either a hybrid blend. They can be either dye or hybrid. And you can always tell on the back of the ink, gosh, it's not focusing at all. It'll say the core ink, and then underneath that, it'll say dye formulation or hybrid formulation. This is a dye, so it works beautifully on this. Oh, warehouse sale, yes. Still waiting on the monthly subscription. I have received other orders. Yeah, see, I don't know what the dealio is. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, guys. I think there's still, I don't know. I will ask questions and hopefully get some answers. I don't know. This might end up being a little darker than I intended, because I went and got a big blodgy ink blend there. I was not paying attention. I'm going to put a piece of paper down to protect my work from my sweaty fingers. Well, so it sounds like some of you guys still haven't received your kits, which is, that's a bummer, but I'm sorry about that. But you can always watch this on the replay, or again, check out the instructions that are on the blog post to kind of follow along if you want to make along with me once you do get your kits. Oh, how are you recovering, Pamela? I'm glad you received the kit. How are you recovering from your surgery? I hope you are recovering nicely and feeling fairly good, as good as you can, I guess, after having surgery. My mom is going to have hip surgery pretty soon, and I'm just a little bit worried about her. Worried about how recovery will go. I couldn't believe when she told me today that she goes in and she leaves the same day. I was like, for hip surgery? I was shocked. All right, I'm going to dry this a little bit. One more week. It's brutal. Oh, I'm sorry. Lots of protein. Oh. Thank you. The crafty visage. Thank you. I'm sorry, brutal. That hurt. I'm sorry, Pamela, that hurt. That was brutal. That stinks. The heat helps the tissue heal. Okay. Thank you. I will tell my mom to have protein. Take lots of protein. I'm very grateful for any advice, any tips. All right, I'm gonna grab all my markers here. I've got a bunch of colors, and this is again where I think the instructions are very helpful because I list all my colors out. So you have them ready to go. Okay, Dawn, silent E. Did I say it right, Dawn? And let's see here. Let's start with the big bow. Let's just go for it. We're gonna go for the big bow. I'm gonna bring awesome. I'm gonna bring my card here, and we'll start by coloring with the lightest shade first. That's what I always do. And for this, it's gonna be RV. It's out of order. It looks like this should be lighter, but it's actually a little bit darker. We're gonna start with RV34. Bows were a little bit different. I can see that. Ooh, this is coloring nicely. Just laying the base down of that light color. I don't think you were alone, Pamela. I felt like a lot of people were like, huh, bows. But I was really excited about it. I thought they were really pretty. I love bows. I've been noticing a lot of bows trending with with young girls, seeing them in their hair and things and on clothes. So I was excited. I actually have some bows myself, but just a black and white one, nothing crazy. And I'll wear them sometimes if I'm dressing up. I'm gonna be fancy. I think though, I can't wait. Pamela, I think you'll really like, I hope. I don't ever want to speak for I don't want to build it up too much, but I think you'll really like April's card kit. So if you're not crazy about the bows, I think you might really like the next month's card kit. And I will show it again at the end of this live. So you will, I'm not teasing. You'll actually get to see it. No, I totally agree, Pamela. Yeah. It did seem a little different. I think it was just a little, we still have the same designers. So that hasn't changed. So even though with the merger, some things have changed, we still have the same designers. This is R85, but the themes might be a little different than they used to be because we have a new creative director, and she's so good. Her name is Heather. She's amazing. And you guys, when you start seeing the kits coming out and the new collections coming out, I think you'll agree with me. They're just really, really cool. But it might be just a little different than some of the other things. This is my medium shade. This is R85. And I'm adding it to wherever I think would be a little darker. So I'm kind of create that roundness on the bow shape. So here near the knot and at the edge. And I'm using that feathered stroke, which is a press down and lift up as I move out. And that just helps to blend it. The packaging, the bags, right, Pamela? I know, those clear bags. Is that what you mean? Those are so good. Yeah, those were great. I loved those too. We have them. Actually, I don't know if they're included anymore in the whole studio. Well, they used to be. That one I don't know. I think I'm going to color this whole inside part. That should all be kind of in shadow, so I'm going to completely color that. So I didn't need to color that light. They were labeled. No envelopes. Oh, see, I don't get, when I get the products, they're not how you guys get them. So I don't even know how you guys get them. That's good to know. I will pass that on, Pamela. I'll pass that on, that you preferred them in envelopes and things. And then from the knot again, and then I'm going to go up from the end of the tails. It looks so good already. The brown envelopes and the black and white accents. They were all labeled. No envelopes. They were all labeled. Okay, I get it now. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read and I'm failing. I'm failing at reading and doing this at the same time. There was no envelopes, so they were all labeled. The brown envelopes and the black and white accents. All right, we're on to our darkest shade. So 3 colors to this. When it's a bigger image, I'm going to have at least 3 markers, a light, a medium, and a dark. When it's a smaller surface area to color, I don't need quite so many colors to really bring that to life. You can kind of create a gradation pretty easily with just 2 markers. But when it's a bigger surface area to color, you need typically more shades. And this is my dark. It's geez, you can't read that. R39. And we're going to do less of this than we did of our medium shade, just a bit. I'm going to color inside here as well. Oh, this is so pretty. This color combo is kind of like a mauve or a wine kind of color. I really love it. This is gorgeous. We still have to blend it all out, but I'm really liking how it's looking already. I want to turn this into I had turned this into a birthday card, but my sister, we actually have a, oh no. Oh, do you see that? It bled everywhere. My marker is very juicy. I'm going to hold it upside down so the ink goes back down. Too much was coming out. She's getting married, and so we're having a bridal shower for her this weekend. And I feel like this is a very bridal feeling kind of card. So with the bows and everything. So I think I'm going to turn this into a wedding card and see what sentiments I have. All right, now we're blending it out. Looks like I'm going to have to do a lot of blending because that didn't do much to blend that out. I'm going back for the medium shade. Yes, I think I can fix it. I think I can. Well, we will try. We sure as heck will try. This is my medium shade, just kind of blending out that transition between the dark and the medium, getting it a little bit smoother. It's a pretty big jump between my medium and my dark, unfortunately. I didn't have a lot of, I wish I had one more marker in between in tone. It's a little bit too big of a jump, but I think we can blend it out. We're getting there. Oh, this bow is so pretty. There's something really, I really love coloring fabric. Oops, I missed a spot. And hair. I feel like it's pretty forgiving. And it just looks so cool and dimensional when you're done. Oh, looking so good. So excited about it. Okay, last color, going back to our light. And we're going to blend out that transition. So, and I'm not the best Copic colorer at all, and I've learned, everything I've learned was from Kelly Taylor. She's an amazing Copic colorer and a very good teacher. And that's basically employ her approach to Copic coloring. I think it turned out so good. The only thing, I might go a little bit darker with my darkest one more time here in these areas that I think would be dark, really dark. Very much in shadow. Yeah. Pretty. I love it. Really, really pretty. Better than my first one, I think. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to get my colors blender. Clearly, I was thinking very highly of myself that I didn't get it out before the live. Like, I don't need that. Yeah, you do. Let's try to clean this up. And I can definitely use a white gel pen too. You have one more spot here. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit lighter, and then we can do the white gel pen and kind of finish it off. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, that's mostly done. Let's color our little bow. We're going to do like a light pink for that. Starting with RV10. Who's got Olos out there? I keep feeling like I want to switch, but I've just invested so much money in my Copic, so it's really hard for me to switch over. Moving on to my medium shade, RV, or my dark. Actually, I'm only going to do 2 shades for this, RV21. Really employing that feather stroke. Past events. Spectre Noir is perfect. Oh, you have a few Olos from past events, so that's cool. Yeah. I've only heard excellent things about them. I just, like I said, it's hard for me to kind of, I think what I need to do, and I keep saying this, so I just need to do it, is really sit down and look at what colors I have in Copics and what Olos would be a good kind of fill in some of the gaps in my color palette of Copics. So that I don't have all of the Copics. I don't even think I need to blend this out. I think that's it. Yeah, that's how I feel too, Hannah. Like, I don't feel like I need to switch, but the only thing is like, I think some of the lids weren't coming well. I like them compared to my off-brand alcohol markers. Yes, I don't own any Copics. Got it. I just know that there was a while where Copic markers were coming with, like, the lids were damaged or something, and I actually own some too. That's how I know it's like true. I'm gonna start coloring the brooch. This is Y21. They were you were buying Copics and the lids weren't attaching on properly. And so your markers were drying out. And I had some that did the exact same, that literally did that for me too. And so that's a big bummer. That was a big bummer. And I didn't want to like encourage people to get Copics if that was happening. But I really love that I can refill them. So I'm like, yes, Sandy Alnick did a, exactly, Sandy Alnick's chart for, she does a whole conversion chart so you can look at what Olos are out there and what Copics, and kind of see what Copic, it's a conversion chart. So you can see what Olos and are similar to what Copics. And so if you have like that Copic, you maybe don't want to need that Olo marker, but there are some Olo colors that don't transfer over to Copics and vice versa. But yeah, I think that's a great resource. I actually shared a lot of time at Stamp Alongs. So I'm moving on. Sorry, I'm talking and not talking about what I'm doing. I have about 15 dry out. See, that's so frustrating, right, Pamela? This is YR23. And I'm just trying, but I'm not doing it very successfully. Trying to add a little, like color half of each one of these balls with the darker shade to kind of make them look more rounded. But I'm being kind of clumsy and coloring most of them in some instances, but that's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about that. It's not a big deal. Just kind of trying to get a tiny bit of this darker shade there. All right, and then I want to make this look domed a little bit. Let's see if I can hold that up. I'm starting so far away from I probably should have dropped my camera more. I'm going to add a little bit to the sides. I hope that will make this look a little bit more domed and rounded. Oh, that's so pretty. I'll hold it up so you can see that a little bit better. I think it really helped make it look a little bit more down. They drop very quickly too, Laura? Oh no. Ah, that's frustrating. Maybe that's just kind of, I mean, I know alcohol ink just dries faster, but shoot. Okay, for our flower, I really wanted to pick up some of the purples. So we're going with 2 purples. Y, or not Y, those are V's. V12 and V15. V12 is obviously the lighter, the V15 is the darker. You replaced the nibs and refilled them and they dried out? Oh no. That is frustrating. That is very frustrating. See, these ones, most of mine are okay, but I did have a couple and I haven't replaced them yet because I haven't bought refills for them. Oh, geez. Now I'm like, I probably shouldn't, right? It's the marker case or whatever that's having the lids or whatever. It's having a problem. Oy, see, that stuff makes me very concerned. And it's so sad because I love when my Copics work, I love them. All right, for the the teeny tiny leaves, they're only teeny tiny leaves. Exactly, Pamela, you're gonna call Japan. Exactly. YG03 and YG63. That's it. Just 2 little colors to color these little leaves. And a little bit of that darker shade. I can't just color, even if it's microscopic, I have to do 2 markers at least. And there it is. There's all our coloring done. I love it. It's stunning. It's going to so pretty. It does look a little darker than my original. I guess I went a little bit more heavy-handed with the dark. But I'm not mad about it. I think it's beautiful. I think it really does still go nicely. All right, I'm going to die cut these out with the coordinating dies. Let me grab those. And one thing I think is really cool about this set is the fact that you can turn this bow into a tag. So, because the die will actually cut a little tag notch. I think that's so cute because you can put them on your presents. I thought that was a fun idea. I need some more tape. All my tape is pretty used. All right, how are we doing on time? Okay, we gotta move things along here. I'm gonna try to go into hyperspeed here. Actually, you know what? I should actually die cut this. I should stamp the sentiment before I die cut it. So we'll put the tape aside. Let's quickly stamp our sentiment onto the tails. And of course, like I was saying, that you can use this as a tag for your gifts. There are included in the stamp set a to and from, so that you could stamp and really take advantage of that. I'm going to try, like I said before, I'm going to go a little different with the sentiment than I did the original because I want to do a sentiment card. I want to do a wedding card or a baby bridal shower card. There we go. Celebrate. You did it. No, cheers. Celebrate. With love. I think celebrate I could do. Celebrate. Is that it? Just want to do celebrate? Cheers. I think I might just do celebrate. I just don't want it to look uneven. Were all the bows colored? They were, I didn't color them, Pamela. I used the transfer sheet included in the kit. So I didn't color them at all. I just transferred them from the transfer sheet. So that was a big time saver. Pick that up with my Misty. I think I'm just going to stamp celebrate. I could do cheers. Oh my gosh, celebrate. So cute. They're all like a little bit curved, the sentiments, so they will work on the bow tail. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. So pretty. All right, moving along. I'm going to kick it into high gear here. All right, let's die cut this out. Perfect. Do the other two. Here we go. And the brooch. So cute. I love that brooch. I think it would be really pretty if I put some of the our clear lacquer on it, which is kind of like glossy accents. And then it would look shiny and dimensional. Would that be so cool? Maybe I'll do it. Maybe. I didn't do it on my original card, but I think it would be cool. I just think it'd be a nice little detail. All right, I'm gonna run this through my die cutting machine. And believe it or not, we are almost home stretch to getting this done. Let's use our tweezers to pop this off. We do have a couple string of beads to stamp. That's your other thing we still have to stamp. But those will be pretty fast. Oh, that cut out perfectly. And see that little tag? So cute. Yeah, I like changing things up too. It makes it kind of more exciting. Sometimes I hesitate to stray away from the instructions, but I think little changes are fine. Cute. Look at how cute. And you could cover that up or go behind. You can easily clip this off too if that bothers you, and just to have the bow without that little notch. So cute. And we have to have the brooch though. The brooch covers everything up, so I don't even have to clip that little piece off. That's what gets me excited, Dawn, is all the possibilities. It's like, oh, I could do this, or I could do that. I just love having all those options. Just gets me excited. All right, I have to see it on here. I can't resist. We're not ready. Oh, very pretty. Super pretty. All right, I'm going to finish with the beads. See here, I just stamped them in ink, but you could gold heat emboss these or anything. There's lots of options. But we're going to stamp them because I think the ink, I wanted it to match the brooch, and I just felt like that was the best way for them to match the brooches with ink colors that were pretty similar to my Copics. So grab those pearls or beads. That's the fun thing, is they could be pearls, they could be beads, depending on how they look. And now I'm going to ink these up in Baby Girl. That would be perfect. I think that would be really perfect for a baby girl. So I'm starting with a light yellow, and I have two yellows kind of picked out, a light and a dark. I'm going to start with my light yellow, which is Butter Bar. Stamp it a couple times. That looks good. Then I'll take my dark ink, which is Fawn. This is a beautiful color. And I'm going to partially ink these up. I keep going back and forth of how to do them. Do I want to try to ink up the side or just kind of half? The side is hard to do, but I think it looks the most realistic. So I'll try the side. So I'm angling my ink pad and just hitting the side of the stamp, trying to just hit the side of the stamp with this Fawn, which is a darker, almost like a brown. Oh, do you see, can you see that shading that it gives? See if I can put my hand here and that will make it focus. It's just a little bit darker. I think it looks so cool. It makes them look more dimensional. I'm gonna do one more time. There we go. Very cool, super easy. Yeah, I like that. All right, we're gonna repeat it one more time, do it one more time. I'm gonna turn it this way. So I have two, I just want two of them. We'll start with our Butter Bar again. There we go, I'm gonna stamp it twice. And then we'll take our Fawn, which again is that darker mustardy yellow. It's practically brown, to be honest. You could just use brown. And I'm going to partially ink up. I'm holding my ink pad up at an angle. It's really hard to do, kind of hold it so you can see on camera. But just hitting the side of the stamp. Trying not to cover the whole stamp with this ink. Oh, that looks really good. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. There we go. There they are, our two little strands. So cute. Oh my gosh, I love them. Oh, I'm glad I hope no, things have been rough, Pamela. It's really nice to hear that you love the kids still and the concept of them and everything. I really appreciate your support and patience. That's the key word. Patience with everything. I know things are getting better. It's just painfully slow. Painfully slow how long it's taken to get better. But we will get there. We will get there. All right, we're going to die cut this out. Use a couple pieces of tape to hold that in place. And then we are home stretch. I need my tweezers. Oops. Super cute. I got lotion in my nails. That's embarrassing. Okay. Last one. Flip that around. And we've got this card done and one more to go. The next card is so fun. It features the March clear set plus dies. And it's a Hatbox themed set. And I just had a lot of fun coloring it. It was a really fun one to color. It's apparently in snail mail. Oh gosh, well, I'm glad it's out the door at least. I'm sorry it's still not there. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. Number 2. Let's wrap this one up. Time to finish this card. I'm going to keep these here on my side, peripheral, just to see if, like, do I want to add a little gem? I don't know. Where would I add a little gem? I don't know. Like, I want to add one, but I don't know where to put them. Okay, so I need some foam adhesive. I've got some right handy right here. Let's start by gluing the bow together. I grabbed some new adhesive because I was running out Sunday, which was tragic. Oops, that I want to go behind. Okay, we'll glue this first. Glue the brooch first. Actually, I want to go behind with this other one. And let's glue these down real quick as well. A little dab here and here. Just gonna quick look and make sure nothing's like popping off the sides. Yep. And I can tweak. Okay, now I'm going to add some foam adhesive. And this card's done because our sentiment we stamped already, which was nice. And that dimension helps to pop it up away from the background a little bit. So cute. Lynn, I agree. It would be super cute on a little box or package. Absolutely. I feel like right now, one of my all-time favorite images are butterflies. I feel like you can always add them almost anywhere. And they're just, I think they're beautiful. They're a nice pop of color. I love butterflies. I feel the same way about leaves. And now I really feel like bows are kind of in that mix too. I think the only thing I do here is just fix some of my sloppy Copic coloring. And a little bit there. And that completes that card. It's so pretty. So fun. Really, really pretty. Butterflies. Yes, I love butterflies. Thank you, Dawn. All right, let's move on to card number 2. Here it is. So fun. Lots of Copic coloring in this one, but everything's pretty small. Let's start off simply by stamping everything. I do want to point out here, there's a fun little element here for texture and even a little bit more realism is we do incorporate actual tissue paper. I thought that was a fun thing to do. Oops, my lid fell off. He's supposed to be like that. All right, let's move on. Not that it matters that much. Let's stamp. Get another panel here. White cardstock. And we'll stamp these first. So grab that stamp set. Where did it go? Here it is. I use pretty much everything. And some of them I stamped twice. I think I stamped this one twice. So we are going to do everything. The flowers, the big hat box, the single flower, single leaf, all those single images. And I'm going to keep this a Mother's Day card. I like that. And the hat box and the bow. So almost everything except for 2 of the sentiments. Everything gets stamped. It's a great little set. I think it's so pretty. I remember when hat boxes were all the rage. Like when I was in high school, I had like a celestial one with stars and moons on it. I thought it was so pretty. And it's funny, when I was looking up like ideas for how to color these, I couldn't find hat box like reference images anywhere. It's like, okay, just like this, hat box are not a thing anymore, I guess. I don't know. I think they're due for a comeback. I remember you couldn't go into a store and not find a ton, especially Joann's or no, Michael's. Especially Michael's. You couldn't go into Michael's and not find a ton of hat boxes for sale. Like that was just like the crafty storage method of choice back then. Again, I'm going to be using my intensified black ink. I just got a re-inker for this and I forgot to re-ink my ink pad. So I might have to stamp this a couple of times. My poor, very much loved and used ink pad is drying out. Okay. Make sure we're still in the corner here. It kind of popped up. We'll stamp again. Yes, my friend had loads of stacking boxes and several hat boxes. Yeah, we had a lot. I had a little wooden set. I just remembered that now that you said that. I had a little wooden set that were my celestial one was like paper mache or cardboard or whatever. But I found a little wooden set one, and I thought it was so cute. It was tinier. And I had my beads in there. I think one more time, 2 little spots, and I think we're done. Oh yeah. It's so bold and beautiful, these images. Look at that. They're really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside to dry. Actually, I can't. I'll set that aside to dry for a second while I put all these stamps back. And then we will have to dry it because we got to get right into coloring. We don't have anything else to do. I guess we could trim our cardstock. We'll trim our cardstock. If I can, I like to let my ink air dry. Just feel like I get better results that way when I Copic color. But if I'm ever impatient, which I pretty much always am, I will heat set it to speed it up. That's why I have that internal back and forth as I'm trying to let it air dry. Sometimes time just doesn't allow for it. Okay. All right, let's get this out of the way. And we will trim our cardstock. So the next thing we're gonna do is just quickly create a background for our images to kind of pop away from. I had this beautiful piece of peony cardstock. I'm going to trim it down. Right now it's at an A2 panel, and I want to trim it down so we have a little white border when we adhere it to our card base. I basically am going to trim off a 1/4 inch, and that will leave me 1/8 of a border all on the side. So if I trim off a 1/4 inch from the top and a 1/4 inch from one of the sides, that'll give me an 1/8 all around. So it's at 4 1/4. So we want to move it down to, I'm gonna actually do 4/16. Let's see if we can hold up. So a little bit tiny, it's very microscopic, but a tiny bit bigger than 4 inches. Do the same thing over here. 5 1/2 is what this measures. We're going to knock it down a 1/4 inch, but not quite. I'm going to add a 1/16 to that. So that would actually be, oh gosh, this is going to take real hard thinking here. I'm not sure what that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 16th? Well, just to say a little bit less than a 1/4. I think you could do a 1/4, you just have a slightly bigger border. Let's see this side. There we go. It looks good. I can go ahead and glue that down to my card base, actually, using my liquid glue. my hand was inky. Let's see if I can get rid of it with an eraser. If I'm fast, sometimes I can pick up ink with just an eraser. And I did. Yay! Okay, so that's glued down. I'm going to put that aside. Using containers that come into the house end up holding exactly, right? We got to put it somewhere. We got to sneak it in, hide it. All our goodies. I'm going to heat set the ink here before we color. All right. Oops, not sure what happened. All right, I'm going to pop real quick. I got to load up my instructions because I had to duplicate some of my colors. Let's pull out my markers here. We have a lot of colors. Let's start with our red combo, which I think is so pretty. It's R20 and R05. I'm going to put these aside. I'll grab those when I get to it. And let's grab the original. There we go. Now we're ready to rock and roll. You can see I've colored the hat box, the lid on the small hat box, the big flower. I love this red combo, and one of the smaller flowers. So that's what we're going to do. Start with R20, which is our light. I always start with my light first. Kind of lay down the foundation. And he feels a little dry, so I need to remember to add some more ink to this little guy. I think he'll make it today, but after this, he needs some help. Some kind of hair on there or something. Okay. And then we'll take our 05. I love this color. It's like a really, almost like coral. Such a pretty shade. Do that feathered stroke, starting at the base of the petal, working out. So heaviest there where it meets the flower center. It helps sometimes for me to turn my paper. Oops, I apologize. What's that sound for? It's on Do Not Disturb. Why are we getting notifications? So you have something like this. Oh, looks so good already. And then I'm just going to blend it out now with the R20. Just noticed I missed a little petal here. And I'm going to color the flower center right now just to get it done. This flower center, I went for more of a yellow and brown. So I have Y11 and E35. Actually, no. I'm doing this one. This is where I had to grab from my previous colors. Y21 and E35. Oops, wrong color. Blend out with the yellow a little bit. And I think I do have to re-ink this. He's not going to make it. I can just tell. So I'm going to do a fast, not a proper re-inking, but just add a little bit of ink to my marker. Because I can tell right now I'm not going to make it. It's a lot drier than I realized. And we have that hot box is going to take a lot of ink to color. Okay, on to this one. And I actually don't really have to color the center, but I will a little bit, or the inside. Oof, my goodness, I'm going to close this. What is making that sound? We will minimize that. I think I had a window open when I popped in to check my instructions, and that made all these sounds come up. And we got to color the inside a little bit here. Geez, my R05 is dry too. These aren't colors that I use that much, even though I really like it. So I'm kind of surprised that it's so dry. Libby! Oh, thank you. While I'm refilling all my markers. Yikes. Yeah, lots of coloring today. Oh, much better. I had enough. So much better. And let's see. I'm going to add a little bit to my R5. Libby, I've been loving all your Pink Pony Club postings. It's so fun to see. I love that one with the little girls singing it. My daughters love Pink Pony Club too. They love that song. Actually, one of my daughters is not super crazy about it. She says she's heard it too much. But my other daughter loves it, so we play it. We're part of the problem. Sorry, yeah, I just realized I had the window open, Libby, and I was like, oh no. Had to go pop back over to my instructions because I can't remember anything. We are going to not do all these flowers and leaves because I'm feeling pressured for time. I say that now, we'll see. Because I didn't stamp another flower and leaf. That marker was just so dry before. Oh, it's much better now. It just needed a little more ink to get a good coloring. That's so much better. Oh my gosh. It looks like my markers need a spa day, I think. That helped a lot, just giving them a little bit more ink, and now they're blending much better. There we go. Oh, you can't share it too much, I don't think. I love it. So fun. I went to a dueling piano night for a date night, and one of the pianists played Pink Pony Club, and it was so fun. Okay, let's color. Since I went through all that work of refilling, we're going to color this too. We're coloring this flower red as well. Maybe we'll stamp one more. Okay, we have one big one to do. Let's do our big hat box. Let's get them out of the way so that we can bust through these other flowers and images. Yeah, it was really fun. I'd never done it before. I'd never been to a dueling pianos ever. So this is where I needed my instructions. I forgot my pinks because I think I used some of my pinks from before. We need RV10, RV21, and 13. Okay, yes. 21 and 13. Where are you? 20. 10. Oh, I have it. Okay. 10, RV10, RV21, and RV13 are our light, medium, dark for the hat box. We will do the stripes in our red combo. We'll start with the big one first, starting with RV10. You are not allowed to dry out on me either. Like that, there's a new rule. No more dry markers. So stop right now what you're doing. These poor markers have been getting a workout lately. A lot of coloring. Wait till you see the April release. You don't have to color though, but I did do a lot of coloring. Oh my goodness. All my markers are drying out. Yeah, I'd never been to dueling pianos before. It was very fun and very rowdy. It was very rowdy. The dueling piano club, I guess you call it, that we went to was right by our college, our state college. So lots of college kids. I felt way too old to be there. But my sister and her husband had gone when they were younger. We went with them, kind of like a double date, and they really wanted to go see. And they're like, "You have never done it before?" I'm like, "Nope, never done it." And so that was the motivating force, was to try it out. RV21, medium. Oh, so pretty. I don't think I need my dark. I think we can get just two colors. Oh, I closed you. Why are you still making sounds? I'm on Do Not Disturb. I've closed you. I do not understand. I've never listened to the piano, guys. No, I have not. I have to give it a try. And I'm going to add a little shadow under the lid of the hat box. I think that really heightens the realism. So just under that lip. And then a little bit around the sides. And I'm just going to do 2 colors. I don't think I need to do all 3. I think we have a nice contrast with just 2. And I'm being a little sloppy, but the red will cover it up. Blending that out a little bit. Perfect. Now the red, starting with our light again, which is our 20. And we're going to color the stripes. That light red, which is pink, but you can see it's not quite as, a little bit more on the orangier side. Quite as cool as our, a little bit more on the red side, warm side, I guess would be the better way to say it. Then our beautiful R05. Love this color. And I'm going to add a little bit to our stripes under that lip as well. So now I'm going to hold it to the camera so you can kind of see, because it looks crazy right now. I will have to give them a try, Dawn. I will give them a try. I love music. My current obsession right now is I get into these phases, and right now it's Bonnie Raitt. I really am enjoying Bonnie Raitt. I'm going to blend this out with my light. Blend out those stripes. Mix, and I think I'm done. Just touching up a couple spots I missed. Hatbox Color, that was the most of it. Yeah, I love her. She's so good. She's always been one of my favorites. I didn't just discover her. I just kind of hadn't listened to her for a while. And then it's like, oh, yeah, she's great. Why have I not been listening to her? I'm going to color this large flower with my 2 pinks, my cool pinks, which was RV10, RV21. So the same pinks we just used on that large hat box. I shouldn't say just used, the kind of the main color on that large hat box. For the flower center, I think I'm going to do the same. No, I'm going to do 2 different browns. E71, E77. Since we have them out, let's color this one too. All right, and then I think I did all the pink. We'll color this center real quick. It's the same center that we used, so Y21 and E35. I just don't like to use the same colors for all my centers. I just think that's a little boring, so I switch it up. Probably silly, but just don't want to always have all the same color in the center. And then let's move on to, oh, we have one more pink flower up here. And we'll be on to our next color, which is our purples. Yes, absolutely, Dawn, totally. BV00 for our light, BV02 for our darker. Kind of like supplies, absolutely. That is so true. Like sometimes we're feeling, there's definitely a phase where I was doing tons of watercoloring. I'd always watercolor my images. I'm going to color the bow in my pink combo or my purple combo as well. And now I don't watercolor very much. I do a lot more Copics. And Rosie was in one of my lives once, and she was kind of like, hey, did you watercolor that? And I was like, no, I didn't watercolor those images. And she's like, you used to watercolor with Tombow dual brush pens all the time. And I was like, you're so right. I did. I don't know why I don't do that anymore. I still love the way it looks. I just kind of forgotten kind of about it. So I might be doing some more watercoloring in the near future. Coloring my bow. Did anything else get purple? I love this kind of really cool purple. Super pretty. All right, all right. I love Tombows. They're still great. Absolutely still great. Let's do a yellow here. This yellow guy, he's going to start with a light yellow, and then we'll move into a medium and a dark. I can't find it here. Where is it? It's my golden one. I used it on the other card. Oh, there it is. He rolled away. So Y11 is the dark, the light. Y21 is the medium. YR23 is the dark. Let's quickly color with the light a shade. And real simple, just kind of going, again, dark out at the center and lightening as we get towards the tip of the petal. And I like to add a little bit of that dark yellow, just to warm it up a little bit. Yellow tends to be, I know it's a warm color, but it tends to feel too cool for me. I like warm yellows, kind of honey yellows more. So I often will pop in almost a brown to make it more that color. Then we're going to color the center with some oranges. Again, I can't help myself. Even though it's teeny tiny, I still have to have a light and a dark. Y00 is the light. YR02 is the dark. Add a little shadow there. So here's what we got so far. We've got all the flowers that we actually stamped colored. Now we just have the leaves. I might have to stamp one more flower and one more leaf, I think, just to balance everything out. That's what the original design was. And I think it's starting to feel like I have to do that. All right, let's start with I have two greens for my leaves. almost always, if I have a floral arrangement, color my leaves in at least two different palettes. I don't like to have, or two different shades of green. I don't like to just color all my leaves one shade of green, even if it's a gradation in the same color or same tone. I like to switch it up. So we're doing a bluish kind of green first, which is, and we have three shades for that: G00, G02, and G28. Starting again with the light, quickly lay that base color down. And I'm going to color all the leaves that I want in this shade of green first. Get it underway. I think I just noticed a petal I missed. That's a petal down there. How did I miss you? Well, we'll get you colored real quick. There we go. That's better. This little hole we have here. I think you're a leaf too. We're going to say you're a leaf. And then we'll move on to our medium. So even though this card is a lot of coloring, you can see it's going pretty quick. It'd be even faster if I didn't have to stop and refill my markers. Didn't have to add more ink. Then I'll finish with a little bit of dark. Love popping it, building that contrast up a little bit more, and adding that really dark G28. I mean, they already look great, but this just takes them, I think, to the next level. Let's see if I can show you. We'll show you this leaf here. Hi! Welcome. So we have this here with just the two colors. I'm going to pop in that dark green. And it'll just add more drama. I have to blend it out, but it already adds so much more drama, I think. Blend it out just a hair. Did all of my colors to blend my medium, light, and there it is. It just makes it more interesting. You can see kind of from here to here, how much more depth and shape that has. Sometimes I'm scared to add it in because it's so dark, but I really do think you're just gonna try, I guess. Sometimes I color things and I throw it away. So everything I color is not, I've colored things and I did not like it. So it happens, but that's why I'm scared. That's why I get scared, because I'm just like, oh gosh, I hope I like it. I hope it looks good. Otherwise I have to do it all over again. Ah. Okay. Green leaves, so pretty. It's really coming to life now. Now for our other leaves, we're going to start with G43, it's our light, and then YG63 as our dark. Do that feathered stroke. And then our dark. And this is looking really good even without the blend. These leaves are a little bigger, so it's easier to do that feathered stroke. And again, it's when you put pressure, more pressure at the beginning, and then lighten as you pull out or push out maybe. And it really helps create that smooth gradation. Perfect. Drama. So pretty. All right. I don't think I have enough room here to stamp the other ones, so I'm going to go ahead and die cut these out. Get that done at least. Where did our dies go? That's the question behind me. Remember everything I put behind me. Get a little tape. Try to take a little bit more time when I do this part. This is where you don't want to mess up. It is scary. Okay. I'm going to need a bunch of little scraps of tape, I think. This I just have to turn till I find the right. There's no trick with some of these little ones. They're hard to tell which way they go. It's just kind of blob-like. So just keep turning till you find the right, till it starts to fit. All right, move it on. Too bad I didn't leave my stamps on my Misty. I could have used this as a jig and stamped my extra flower in my leaf really easily. Oh well. That would have been clever. And our Happy Mother's Day. That's everything. I think I need more tape. I know I got it out earlier. Here it is. It's starting to get messy here. It doesn't take very long for things to start to get all out of place. And we're there. It's happened. There's a million markers out. Some of these are too close. I can't cut them in one go. Okay, so we'll cut them after. Yeah, I forget about them too. Sometimes I remember, but I kind of forgot that I stamped some of these images more than once. Okay, everything's all taped up. Run that through our die cutting machine. There we go. Look at all that. It looks so good. I saw so many creative team members do so many creative things with these flowers. Mindy has some. She was here earlier. She has some amazing videos. She creates such pretty cards with using these flowers and the images and the card kits. She just always creates such stunning projects. And I thought how she used some of the images from the set were very clever. Yeah, she's so good. Mindy's amazing. Ooh, I think I might have did a bad job cutting this leaf, but we're going to use it anyways. Not a great job, Shannon, but we'll use it anyways. Luckily, I think you won't see it. That part where it's really off. Everything else cut pretty good. All right. We have a flower and a sentiment still to cut. Last one. Ooh, got that lined up first try. Ooh, I like that. That's great. Hello, Melissa. Welcome. All right, we're going to die cut that out. I had a straggler. A straggler on that run. And I think I'm going to have to do it. I think I'm going to have to stamp a leaf and a flower. I just can't. I don't think it's going to look good without that extra leaf and flower. Luckily, we have a little bit of cardstock left over from our other card. I can just use that. Yeah, where's my stamp set? Here, nope. Here? No. Here it is. So I'm going to stamp the teeny flower and that leaf with a bunch of little leaves one more time. I know. It probably could be done, but I just want a little bit more green and color. You know what? I think I'm going to move that a little further apart so I can definitely make sure I can die cut those in one go. The coloring will go really fast on these. Quickly heat set. I guess my best tip for lining up is taking your time. Sorry, I can hear my garbage man driving. We have our front door open because the weather's so nice. And so I apologize if you hear him, it's noisy. Taking your time, which I'm clearly not doing right now. Using tape. You've got to use tape to hold them in place once you get them lined up. That's really important. But the dies are doing that white border. You know, it's just taking that time to really line it up. Using my yellow combo here that we've used earlier to color this flower. I'm going to use my oranges for the center. We colored a flower already just like this on our big bouquet, so I'm going fast. Because you've seen it already. And our beautiful dark green really steps it up. And then just quickly blend it out. All right. Grab my flower and my leaf. So when I line these up, try to, it might even help to stand up, but you want to try to not look at an angle. If you're looking at an angle, it might appear to be one direction more than another. It might help to stand up. Yeah, it's not the best tip to be more patient. I'm sorry, but I do take that extra time. I'm going to stand up to get these ones. The tape's really important. Once you get it lined up, to really use that tape to hold it in place. If it's a big die cut, These are all teeny tiny, but if it was a big die, it kind of would matter what direction you put it into your die cutting machine. There we go, got that lined up. And I'll talk about that in just a second. Let me tape this down. So like for rectangles, and I'm going to pull my die cutting machine over here when I talk about this. So when you have big dies, I'm dropping all the things. Can't pick it up. There we go. Finally. When you have a big die, when you feed it into your die cutting machine, and I notice this mostly with rectangles because they have like one, give it like a flat surface, like one large side. And when that large side goes in, that's a lot of pressure, kind of almost, especially if you keep it all nice and straight. Like let's say you feed it into your die cutting machine like this. That's going to be your plates, your die cutting, not plates, so kind of the rollers in your die cutting machine are going to press all on this edge all at once. That's a lot of pressure on such a small part of your die. And what that can sometimes do is cause your die to kind of move a smidge, just a tiny bit. And you'll notice that it'll be off a little bit. To kind of avoid that, it's best to put your rectangle dies in at an angle. So now when it hits the rollers in your die cutting machine, it's only hitting here versus when it's straight, all this edge. When it's here, it's only going to hit here. And that's just less force, you know, on a big area. So it's not as likely to kind of push it out. It's just putting that pressure right there. And then as it works its way through, it's not, the pressure's more dispersed because now you're a little bit more outside of your die cutting machine. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job explaining that. I really tried, but just try. The point is just try with your larger dice, not entering them in where there's a large surface area going to be hitting the plates or the rollers at once. Try to give them a little turn or a little angle so it starts small as it works its way through and gets larger. That would be a lot better. That's the best tip I have, besides maybe standing up when you're lining up your die with your images and the tape. It's the only other advice I think I can offer. Yeah, the jig trick is very helpful. Some images are just tricky, like just very tricky. And the jig is very helpful for that. And I've shown jigs. I think one of these Stampin' Crafts, which I think was before we renamed it was Stamp Along, I showed how to make a jig, and I used a jig because I was stamping a bunch of the same images and die cutting them out. Okay, we got everything. Now we need a little bit of tissue paper. And I just have regular tissue paper. I'm just going to rip a piece. This is more than enough. That's plenty. I'm going to actually cut it in half. And my daughter's coming home, so you might hear some noise. She's coming in. There we go. Let's put all of our images out here. Just getting home from school. Our 2 leaves, our 2 flowers, our big flower, our hat box. Okay, that's everything. Those are our image and, of course, our sentiment. So we'll grab our card base here. We're ready to wrap it up. I'm going to start by, I'm going to have my card here as an example. Let's glue our flowers to our hat box. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Let's glue our flowers to our hat box. Glue those on top. Like so. Then I'm going to take some of the tissue paper I'm just gonna bunch it up a little bit. My goal is to make it look like it's a bouquet. Now, this liquid glue is still a little bit wet, so I'm gonna tuck this under. Right there. And I like adding little folds and bends to it, so it's not perfect. Yeah, something. Crumpling it. Yeah. So I'm gonna add a little glue and just kind of glue this down now that I've fussed with it enough. Nice thing about tissue paper, just a little bit of liquid glue and it holds it really well. Just give it a second. And it's kind of locked in. And you can even fine tune it a little bit more once you bring it to your, oh yeah, that's looking great. Oh, hello. Isn't it a wonderful day today, Cheryl? It's a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Queen Creek's in Arizona. I'm going to rip this a little bit more. It's too big. He's going to get a little bit more squished and folded. Something like that. Add a little bit of liquid glue. I can even cut this down if that's another thing you can do. You can actually cut it. Isn't that great? Really kind of shape it how you want it to look. That's still way too much. Isn't it fun? So easy. And it just adds so much texture and everybody has it, right? It's something you all have, right? Just we're a house that saves our wrapping. Anytime someone has a present, we save the wrapping stuff, and I'll even save tissue paper. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna glue that in place. Not that I know us crafters are pretty notorious for saving saving things. So now I've just added something else for you to save if you aren't saving it already. But I've used it and for another card recently too, the tissue paper, because it just made a lot of sense. Look at that, it's so fun. Okay. Now I'm going to add some foam adhesive to these big guys that I know where they're going to go essentially. And then we'll add the smaller images behind or around rather. So add some foam adhesive back here. Do my stab and grab to remove the backing. Perfect. Oh yeah, junk journaling. Oops. It's really getting stuck to the foam adhesive. And accidentally folded it over. There we go. Again, if things are too long, I can just trim them off. That's the best part. Cut that off a little bit. I want to overlap these two and the foam adhesive's in the way. So fun. It looks so cool. I love it. All right. Finishing it up here. Put these guys down here. The bow, we're going to glue the bow on. And I'm going to add a little glue to this because he's popping up a little too much for my liking. And then I know you guys are been so patiently waiting while I took a million years to make these cards. Coloring just takes so long. I will show you the new kit. I'm going to double up this foam adhesive to make it taller than the hat box is. This is for the sentiment. So I just folded it back on itself. And we'll add one little piece to balance out the sentiment on the other side. Thank you, Risha. She's so kind. She's just like one of the kindest people out there. She's so kind. Stick it there. Oh my gosh. I love this card. This one's so fun. And I didn't give myself a lot of room for the flowers. Can I move him a little bit? Only by ripping the paper, but it's fine. All right, we're going to start with, I should just arrange it. I'm going to arrange it here on the side and then pick it up. And I'm just using my original as an example. Thank you, Amy. Gosh, you guys are so kind. There. Good. Press and seal. And foam adhesive to kind of hold all those die cuts together. There. Now I'll just remove the backing. This leaf has to go in more. Minor fix. He's sticking out too much. We'll just stick him down later. He's sticking to my fingers too much. That's a first. I got press and seal stuck to my foam adhesive. Oh, that leaf where I did not die cut it right. It bothers me so much. I'm going to have to cut it off a little bit. That's much better. Okay, a little fussing, but I think it's done. Clean all this stuff out of the way. There we go. All done. So pretty. Love the colors. Love the images. The hat boxes and the flowers are so fun. Cute. Okay. Our last thing. You guys have been so patient. And it's time to share the sneak peek of the April card kit of the month. This is releasing April 1st. All the products I just finished up, the March, all the bows, the March clear set plus dies of the month, which we'd use to make this card, the March card kit that we used to create this card. These are still available. These will still be available to purchase. Tomorrow's the last day. So if you saw these and you didn't get these products yet and you love them, they're still available. But this is March's Hero Studio. I'm now going to give you a sneak peek of the April Hero Studio, which will not be released until April 1st. And that's when you can order these products. All I'm going to share with you today is the card kit, the Clear Set Plus Dies of the month, the other subscriptions, which is the Clear Set Plus Dies, the cling, the layering stencils, and the die of the month. All of those I'll share on the 1st. You'll see all those. Actually, we'll do a live going over everything on the 2nd, so you can check that out. But let's pull this out. There's so many products. First thing, and let me get some white cardstock so you can really see it. First up is this large 6x8 clear stamp set. And it has this beautiful, this is a terrarium kind of themed release. Bunch of wonderful sentiments. I love this one. Plant dreams, pull weeds, and grow a happy life. That's so cute. Here for you, rain or shine. Sending happy thoughts, thinking of you, thank you. Some great sentiments. Big, beautiful terrarium image, stamp image. You also have leaves, mushrooms, a stump, cute little froggy guy to put in your scene. It's so pretty. You can see you could have a fun day coloring or watercoloring all these images. They're just beautiful. Beautiful set. Of course, there are coordinating dies. Let's see if I can put this over to the side. Here are their coordinating dies. The die cut out all the images as well as all the sentiments. Love that. Always love matching dies for the sentiments. Just put that up there. So lots of big dies. And then, if that wasn't enough, also included in the kit, this is this incredible die set that also creates your terrarium. The die cuts your terrarium for your images to go into. But there's also a bunch of additional images, leaves. This is like moss. I'll show you some cards here in just a second so you can get a better idea. I know sometimes it's hard to tell from the dies what things are, but you have a stump, leaves, ferns, butterfly. There's a couple layers for the mushrooms. These are layers for rocks. I love, love, love this layer for the soil or the dirt. So very, very cool. Couple layers for the butterfly as well. Really awesome. Very pretty die sets. So fun to kind of mix and match and play with these two sets together. And I'm going to show you everything in the kit, and then I'll show you a couple of card samples. I think I'm going to put that here. And then also included in the kit are cardstocks. I'm missing my other thing. Oh. So we have a bunch of new cardstocks colors, ones that coordinate with the, there's 7 sheets in all. Is that 7? What's missing here? There's more than that. There's 9. That's what it is. It's like 7, no, 9. There's 9 sheets You have greens, a red, a cream, a couple browns, and there we go. And that's cream. You have a couple grays as well. So they all work wonderfully with these dyes. I know, Lisa. Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa. We had one other too who hadn't quite received her March kit yet. I think they're on the way, but you can always email info@heroarts.com and ask for an update or what's going on, or can they check on it for you? Sorry, this one I've clearly have cut into already, so we'll turn it like that. So you have all those beautiful cardstock colors. There we go. And then there's also 3 sheets of acetate, so you can really create a realistic terrarium. These are all 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so they're A2 panel size. So you have 3 of those. And last but certainly not least, you have fun, clear, and mine are kind of used, so you would get a full set, of course. But you have some clear enamel dots that are great for making little dewdrops and really pretty little water dots to your leaves and things. So fun. Let me show you some cards. First up is this one where I made a shaker card. I used the acetate and the dies here to kind of create my shaker window. And then I filled my shaker card with images from that 6x8 clear stamp set. Included some sequences to make it look kind of rainy or dewy. So fun. I love that little frog guy sitting there with this little leaf. He's so cute. Really adorable. And then I went all in on these gorgeous dies. And oh, that's what they said, Lisa. Their customer service said they have until the end of the month. Shoot. I was hoping that they were getting a little bit ahead of that. Sorry, Lisa. Thank you for being so patient. I apologize. Hopefully we get a little bit faster on that. And then here we have this one here where I use the these kind of like standalone dies included in the set. These are the coordinating dies for the images, but these are standalone. And also create a little terrarium. And I just love these dies. They're so fun to play with. Look at that soil like part right here. Isn't that great? Oh, so fun. And I need to add dewdrops to these leaves. I need to take these enamel dots and add some dewdrops to these leaves. Wouldn't that be magical? Ah, so great. So that is the April sneak peek, pretty much, even though we saw everything. It's a sneak peek of the April card kit. There's going to be a lot more April products coming. Again, everything's releasing April 1st. I'm going to pop back over to my other camera. Thank you guys for being so wonderful in the chat and encouraging and so kind while we created these 2 really pretty cards with the March card kit. And these are still available. So if you did see something you love, these are still available. That's kind of why we did this. Not the very end of the month when it was too late, but a little bit before, just in case you saw something you loved and you didn't order it. You can still order those now. And then, of course, that sneak peek of the April card kit of the month. And I hope you guys will join me on April 2nd. It's going to be the same time as this. So is that right? Yep, same time as this at noon, which I just realized. I'm going to have my mom to pick up my daughter from school again. Same time as this. Where we go over everything in the April kit with that wonderful terrarium kind of theme. So I can't wait for you guys to see. There's the clear set plus dies of the month is beautiful. The layering stencils is also stunning. I can't wait for you guys to see everything. Oh yeah, and the cling of the month this month, so good. Thank you guys, and I hope to see you next Wednesday, and have a wonderful week. Bye everyone.